How do you take a successful classic movie from the 80s, bring it into the modern day, bring back the original cast, and make it better? Easy. You create Cobra Kai. Let's talk about season 1. Okay, so Karate Kid, 1984. I enjoyed this film as a kid. It was never one of the massive movies that I enjoyed. You know, it had its cult following, but okay, there were 80s films that I liked more. Never Ending Story, films like that. But it was always an enjoyable film. I never really bothered with any of the sequels. I tried with the next Karate Kid with Hilary Swank. He just didn't have what the original film had. And that's why I was apprehensive when it was announced that a TV series based on Karate Kid was coming out. And I thought, it's not going to work. You can't adapt that to a modern day TV show and be successful. It'd just be a pale comparison to the original film. I'm glad I was wrong. Yes. Like I say, I was apprehensive when this first came out. I never watched it. I never watched the second season. And it's only recently I've heard good things about it. And the fact that season 3 is now on Netflix, that I've kind of shown some interest in wanting to actually watch it and see what it's all about. Obviously, now it's about karate. But the main thing that makes this so successful is it's not a rehash. You don't rehash the Karate Kid. It's the next chapter. It's the continuation. You bring back the original cast. So you have William Zabka reprising his role as Johnny Lawrence, who was really the villain kid of the original film. And you also have Ralph Macchio as Daniel LaRusso, who was the hero under the guidance of Mr. Miyagi. So where are we more than 30 years later? Well, Daniel LaRusso is now a successful car dealership owner, and Johnny Lawrence is kind of down on his luck. He goes from job to job doing maintenance. He's still holding on to everything from the 80s. So he's got an 80s car. He loves to play the 80s music, and they were his glory days. And Daniel has just moved on. He's got a family. We also learn that Johnny has an estranged son. It's never really a father-son relationship, so there's a lot of built-up hostility there that, you know, he was never there for his son. And after watching a high school kid, Miguel Diaz, get the crap kicked out of him, Johnny decides to get back into training and start up the Cobra Kai again. But he needs students. We get various misfits from the school signing up to Cobra Kai, wanting to do karate. And that's what makes Cobra Kai great. It's not just about karate. It's not just about these two squaring off against each other from, you know, lost youth. It's about bringing a new breed of fighter into the mould, and the best place to do that is high school. The best mix of a successful TV series is to go to high school and bring some of these kids into the mould and train them up, and that's where Cobra Kai succeeds. It doesn't just take a few people off the street who sign up who want to become karate experts. We focus most of the time on these kids in these high school. So we also see their relationships. We see how they struggle with their families. We also see the rise in confidence in these kids, many of whom have been ignored at school. Of course, you also get the mean girls at high school as well as the various bullies. But these kids strive for greatness, and a lot of them have found their place and they're accepted into the Cobra Kai. What was endearing about the first series is the way that they brought in Karate Kid into the series. You know, they didn't just focus on modern day storytelling. They incorporated past experiences and past training into this series. with flashbacks of Mr. Miyagi and other situations that they had back in the first film, and that's what truly made it a continuation of the Karate Kid movie and not just a remake or a cheap rehash. We also get a glance into the 80s, even though the series is set now in modern times. We get, you know, the 80s soundtrack music. The performances in Cobra Kai are really good. The great performances from Ralph Macchio and William Zabka are what hold this whole series together. But all of the kids that join Cobra Kai all have their own personalities, their own quirks. It's kind of like taking the kids from It and Goonies, you know, and wrapping them up, sending them to high school and then joining Cobra Kai. So you get various levels of weirdness, dorkiness, and just wanting to be accepted. So everything is coming together brilliantly. The acting is fantastic. The 80s references and flashbacks couldn't be more welcome in a show like this. The episodes are short. They're only like half an hour each, which makes it a welcome break from the usual hour-long plus TV shows, and makes it easier to marathon. Although when you have a busy lifestyle like me, sometimes it's difficult to slot in a half-hour TV show. But I would love to have marathoned the entire first series. I might do it for the second series. But sometimes you don't want to marathon a series because you like the anticipation, you know, of waiting to see what comes next. So sometimes I enjoy spreading it out and taking a little bit longer than usual. As series 1 comes to its climax, we get a Karate Under-18s Championship. And it was halfway through that episode that it really flipped. That I actually hadn't anticipated. I hadn't realised exactly what had happened until Miguel and Robbie were on the mat. And Miguel was always the hero, you know, of these new breed of Karate Kids. And he was the one that you want to win. He was the Daniel, you know, of the modern day. And Robbie was always his dad. Robbie was always Johnny. And the way that it twisted round and how they changed Miguel's attitude in like the last 15 to 20 minutes, found myself actually rooting for Robbie to win over Miguel. And Miguel was kind of acting like Johnny did in the 80s. I suppose it's true what they say, you hang around someone for so long and you become them. And Robbie was actually becoming the Daniel LaRusso, which I found was a really neat little twist. I didn't really realise until that last episode how this was coming together. And earlier in the show, Robbie was clearly the villain. He was really coming across as the mean person on the outside. I love how they took these two characters and kind of reversed them. So yeah, it was really well done. And of course, it wouldn't be a television series without a great cliffhanger. And I didn't know that was going to happen right at the very end, but I kind of had an inkling because I was thinking they keep showing all these flashback scenes and you remember one of the main characters from the original film and you're thinking, I wonder if they'll ever bring them into the show. Yeah, we get that one opportunity to see where this show is going to go in season 2. Yes, I'm only at the end of season 1. I know season 3's on Netflix and you know all about it, but for me, no, I don't. But it was great to see this character appear at the end of season 1, and it's built up that in anticipation of watching season 2 now, and made me more excited to find out where this story is going. It's also made me appreciate the Karate Kid more as well. Like I say, I was a fan of the film in the 80s, but it was never my top level go-to movie. But it's made me appreciate it more, and it's a bit more special now that we have this continuing series. So I am going to go back and watch this again in the next couple of days, because like I say, it's made me appreciate it more. And I'd like to see things that were in Cobra Kai, maybe that I'd forgotten about, that were actually in the Karate Kid back in the day. So there we go, that is Cobra Kai. This does include seasons 1 and 2, so I can go straight on to season 2. Plus also season 3 is available on Netflix. Hopefully we'll get a Blu-ray release of that as well. And like I say, it's not a rehash, it's not a remake. The Karate Kid saga continues. It's a direct continuation of the original. Whether you're a fan of the original Karate Kid or whether you have no interest in karate, you can watch this and be thoroughly entertained just for the high school element of it. But if you do like a bit of karate, then this is the show to watch. It's a thoroughly enjoyable show. I would have said that it was probably in my top 3 TV shows of 2020, but I didn't start watching this until 2021, so it won't be in my top shows. But it's the best show that I've seen so far this year, and I look forward to watching season 2 and going on to season 3 on Netflix. So I hope you enjoyed my review of the complete first season of Cobra Kai. I will also do a review of season 2 and season 3 once I've watched them. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like it by giving it some thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, comment and share. And I shall see you all on the next video. Hiya!